It is deep. Day 2 of the storm. So with the storm rolling in, 2 days ago I've been fasting all week. Between 18 to 20 hour fasts with a 4 to 6 hour window of eating. And my plan was 2 days ago to do 2 days of a 24-hour fast, because I knew with the storm coming in that my running would be really slow and easy with the added snow accumulation. So this past week was really my time to infuse my periodization of fasting into my season. And like I mentioned in a few videos before, I've been periodizing my fasting regimen for the last 4 years. And windy. So going right into 18 to 20 hour fasting this week was really easy for me. And I haven't really fasted all summer long, maybe a couple days here or there, but really hasn't been anything consistent. So this week should have been really hard for me from a fasting standpoint, and it was just the opposite. And it's getting me to realize that we can mimic maybe the performance enhancing fat burning benefits of fasting. We can mimic that with our training. My reflection of this week is, since it was so easy, and it was maybe a little easier than previous years, that this is an indication of more of my training and something that we can mimic to have the benefits of fasting, but do it through our training. Therefore, I'm still questioning whether fasting has any benefit from a performance standpoint, or can we get those same benefits, fat burning capabilities, through our training only? And that's what I'm going to continue to experiment and explore. Like I mentioned in a previous video, my purpose mainly for fasting is more from a health and longevity standpoint, anti-aging. So it's more from the health side of things than performance. But it's again, really interested to keep exploring to see, is there some ways that fasting does help performance? For example, I have no problem going out running in the mountains for 5 hours, nice and easy, without really eating anything, and feeling really good without even fasting. So again, that's coming through my training principles. So what I found in this last year or two is that fasting while training high volume with intensity, you're definitely going to lose performance benefits due to the fasting, at least from my anecdotal experience, especially if you're running hills, especially when you're running fast. Your performance is going to suffer. So that's my journey to see, is there something I can do in combination with my training and a fasting method to increase my intensity while I continue to fast and get those health benefits. So what I wanted to throw out there is that if you wanted to experiment with fasting, or maybe more importantly, wondering how good of a fat burner you are without going through the massive expenses of going into a laboratory in a metabolic chamber to see how your fat burning is, try a 12-hour fast, try a 16-hour fast, try an 18-hour fast, and see how hungry you get. The more hungry you get, the more your body's relying on carbohydrates during that fast and wanting more and more carbohydrates. Or, hey, can you breeze through 18 hours without eating with no problem and not much hunger? Shows that your machine is burning on fat. Or can you go out for a long, easy run, zone 2, zone 3, like I'm doing today, for 2, 3, 4 hours without eating anything or eating anything during? Another sign of good fat burning efficiency. Or are you getting famished and really your brain, your body's craving a little hit of carbohydrate to help you through that run? A couple ways to really kind of start self-diagnosing where your fat burning efficiency is. Starting to calm down a little bit, or I'm tucked in behind a mountain. Got a good window with no wind. So what are some of the health benefits of fasting and potentially benefits for performance? Well, first one obviously is weight loss. But what needs to be understood is that there's a huge difference between fasting and limiting or reducing your daily calories. For example, if you reduce your calories to, let's say, 1,000 calories throughout the day, but you're eating throughout the day, that's much different than maybe eating 1,000 calories once or twice while you're fasting. Okay, when you just limit calories and continue to eat throughout the day, you're going to lose muscle mass. So just limiting calories, eating throughout the day, you lose muscle mass. Your body's starting to eat away at muscle, whereas fasting, many studies show that you don't lose muscle mass, is that the body seeks out fat stores for energy and spares your muscle mass in your muscle. So be sure you're not confusing the two. Fasting is much different than just reducing calories throughout the day. In fact, there was a great study a long time ago, back in, I'm going to get this wrong because I forget the date. It was either the 1920s or the 1940s, where they took two groups. One, they limited their calories throughout the day, and the other one they put through a fasting protocol, similar to what we're talking about here. And what was interesting is the group that was just limiting their calories throughout the day, they became irritable. They became cold. Their bodies couldn't maintain their temperature. Actually, their body temperatures dropped. And a lot of health ramifications around this. Versus the fasted group, they experience vitality. And that's what's so exciting now with fasting. There's so many great studies recently that show how your mental acuity increases, how fasting helps your brain, and you actually get energized, versus how the reduced calorie group was feeling lethargic and irritable and crabby. So there's many types of fast, but I want to talk about two ways that you can fast, daily fasting, to maybe get some benefits, but also to realize what's taking place within your body during these two types of fast. The first fast is kind of maybe up to a 16-hour fast where your body is fasting long enough to start seeking out burning fat as fuel. And again, that's where maybe there is some performance benefit if you're not training that way in your training. But also during up to a 16-hour fast, you are producing growth hormone, which is really crucial thing for athletes. So again, this happens with sprints and faster running. So again, it's not the only way to produce growth hormone, but it's just an interesting thing that here's something that we can do through a fast to produce some growth hormone. So that's the one way. Second way is going up to an 18 to 20 hour fast. And now what starts to happen, we continue to fat burn and seek out fat burning as our source of energy throughout the day. But once we get up to that 18 to 20 hour threshold, we begin to go into autophagy. And autophagy is a really cool thing. This is when the body seeks out damaged cells for energy. It will seek out bad cells, damaged cells, and actually put our body into a detox mode that's getting rid of damaged cells that could eventually lead to health trouble. So that's where I'm really interested in from a health standpoint of this autophagy aspect and how we can go through a detox by 18 to 20 hour fast. So I think the most important first step, if you haven't tried fasting, is to ask yourself, what is my purpose for fasting? Why do I want to fast? Once you have that answered, then let your research steer you in that direction.